What's going on, guys? It's Jake Camaro here with the 7th and final episode of my Flashback Friday Halo Special, and today we're going to be taking a look at Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, which was released November 15th, 2011, is developed by 343 Industries, and was released for, of course, the Xbox 360. Now, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary is a pretty different game from all the other Halo games. First of all, it's not actually a new game. As the name entails, it's pretty much an anniversary edition of the original Halo Combat Evolved on the Xbox 360, and there's a lot of things that changed with this version to the last. Of course, you're watching the gameplay right now. Me and Ryan, who's not in this video again, we played it on Silent Cartographer, which is, if you remember, the mission that we played Halo Combat Evolved on, like the original one, when we first started out this series, just to give you some comparisons. So if you want to go back to that video and look at the graphics, then come to this one. There's a huge difference. It's not even worth talking about. There's such a big gap between the two that the graphics are insane. They're just as you would expect from a modern-day Halo game on the Xbox 360. So, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary was developed by 343 Industries, and this is actually their first game. It came out last year. This game was actually announced at E3 2011 alongside Halo 4, and this is kind of the first time the community got to play a game that was developed by 343 Industries. Now, of course, it's not really an entirely new game because, of course, it's a remake of a game that Bungie made back in 2001. But still, it was their first game, so that's worth mentioning. Of course, Halo 4 is completely 343. You still get a little bit of Bungie in here, of course. All the Easter eggs and stuff are still present. But I think 343 did a pretty good job with just introducing themselves into the community. So, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary actually retails for $39.99 in US dollars. Of course, that was when the game originally came out. Probably now you can get it for about $20. But most games, if you know, which you probably do, for the Xbox 360, are $59.99 in US dollars when they first come out. So the pricing of this was a little bit cheaper than most games, and I think it was definitely right they decided to do that because it's not really a full, like, new game, and there's definitely some things that I wish they would have changed about it. It isn't like an entirely new game, so if you played Halo Combat Evolved before, which I did, you pretty much know exactly what to expect, of course, with new graphics and multiplayer and stuff. So that's what I'll talk about first. I'll talk about the campaign. So, the campaign is kind of the main, like, remake section of Halo Combat Evolved, and there's some tweaks that they made to it besides just the graphics. So, the graphics, like I said, are completely gorgeous. Just the shadows and animations and textures are really, really improved. They've pretty much taken Halo Reach and Halo 3 and combined the two. So sometimes you'll get some elements from Halo 3, which is kind of like the assault rifle, which you're seeing right here, and some of which you'll see from Halo Reach, like the grunts and elites look exactly like they did in Halo Reach. But the actual game remains exactly the same. So you can actually press the back button, not the B button, but the back button on the Xbox 360 controller. We don't do it in the video, but you can actually immediately, of course, there's like a 2 or 3 second like black screen. You can switch over from Halo Combat Evolved, like the new graphics, to the old graphics. So you're going to be in the exact same spot. The enemies are going to be in the exact same spot, which is really, really cool. So all the properties are the same. The Warthog is still invincible, and the pistol is as overpowered as ever. That's a really cool thing, and I really like that, because sometimes you get HD remakes, which they're cool, but you can actually go back and see what this looked like 10 years ago. This game was actually released on November 15th, 2011, the 10th anniversary of Halo Combat Evolved, which I think was really cool that they were able to do that. That's also the 10th anniversary of the Xbox original, because that was a launch title to coincide with the release of that. But I think, really, the campaign is kind of a celebration of Halo Combat Evolved. For somebody who's already played this game, I think that you're just going to feel lots and lots of nostalgia. I did, and I only played Halo Combat Evolved, I think, about a year and a half before I played this game. So I think that for a fan that really enjoyed Halo Combat Evolved when it first came out, this is going to be a really good treat to just walk down memory lane with these new graphics. You also get Xbox Live functionality, so gone is just the LAN party, stuff like that. You can have 2 players over Xbox Live, which is the one thing I'm a little disappointed about in the campaign part, is that it is only 2-player. Now, of course, the original Halo Combat Evolved was only 2-player. So I could see that they just wanted to do that again. But I think that the main reason I haven't played this game a ton, I've definitely played this game and gone through the campaign at least 3 times. But I think that the reason I haven't played this game as much as like Halo Reach, like the campaign, is because most times like all my friends are there, but only 2 of us can play. So I get why they wanted to do that. But I kind of wish that they would have done something to increase the capacity to 4 players. Me and Ryan had a ton of fun going through it together. You can also play split screen, but I definitely wish if they added 4 players. You can play 2-player split screen, and the thing with 2-player split screen is that the classic and new mode is what I'll call it. When you press the back button, both modes switch over, so you can't have like one screen running the old version, one screen running the new version. So that's definitely worth mentioning if you wanted to just like see the exact same thing. I think it's probably because of the RAM. I don't think the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3 for that matter has very much RAM, so I don't think it's capable of running both at the same time. But that's definitely kind of worth mentioning. Another difference is the terminals. Now, terminals in Halo 3 were there, and they were a little less present in Halo Reach. They're still there, but I didn't really look for them or really care about them for that matter. But terminals are pretty much, well, in Halo 3 and Halo Reach, they're little like locations, usually outside the map, sometimes just right there, and sometimes they're only accessible on certain difficulty levels, like in Halo Reach. But you go over to them, you walk over to them, and then it displays like lines of text and tells like side stories and stuff like that, which is really cool. But in Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, they kind of stepped it up. So now you actually, when you go to a terminal, you can see an actual video of 343 Guilty Spark kind of talking about his journey before the humans discovered the Halo rings or anything like that. But I think that's really cool. They also talk about some of the secrets of they were revealing some plot points of Halo 4. I watched this like the videos like a year before Halo 4 came out. So when this game first came out, so I don't really know if they are actually true to their word. I should probably just go back and watch them. But I can say one thing: if you find all of them, you can go on to Halo Waypoint, type in some codes, and you can actually watch a secret one. I think it's the 11th. I think there's 10 in all, and then that's like the secret 11th. Don't quote me on that or anything. But you also get skulls. Now, skulls are new to Halo Combat Evolved. That's the one kind of gameplay difference. And the way you find skulls are much like the Halo 3 way, unlike the Halo 3 and Halo 3, the Halo Reach and Halo 3 ODST way. They're not all unlocked at the same time. You have to go and collect them around the map. So you just walk over to them, you pick them up. In some cases, you get an achievement, and then you can use it. Because I pre-ordered this game, or if you got a first release copy, like first printing, you got the Grunt Birthday Party skull. So you can use that right out of the beginning. Me and Ryan didn't turn on any of the skulls because we wanted to show the base game experience. That's what we were trying to do with all these episodes. We don't try to like glitch it or anything like that. We stay true to what the game should look like. But you can walk around with those. One thing that's worth mentioning though is the terminals and the skulls are invisible in classic mode. So if you do go and play this game through the entire way in classic mode, they're not going to be there. They're just going to be invisible. But then if you turn on the new graphic mode, then you can see them immediately and pick them up and then go back. But they're just not supported in that old engine, so they just decided not to put them in. So I definitely thought that was pretty cool. I'm not really a fan of skulls, at least like the harder ones. I've used some of the ones in Halo Reach, of course, for like challengers and stuff. So the campaign, all in all, it's really fun. A couple problems, especially the only 2 players. The sound is good, all the music is remastered, all the voice acting is still there. It stays true to the word that it is Halo Combat Evolved, but in the Anniversary Edition with new graphics and stuff. So I definitely thoroughly enjoyed the campaign. Now the next part of Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary is the multiplayer. Now this is where it gets a little confusing. So the multiplayer in Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, it does not run the Halo Combat Evolved engine like the campaign does. It's not like a new graphic version. So there's some differences with that. It runs the Halo Reach engine, so Halo Reach weapons, Halo Reach Spartans, you get credits, the servers, exactly the same, game modes, but they made a couple tweaks to it. First of all, the maps, which we'll go into in a second, and sometimes the weapons. So of course there's two versions to every map. So there's a classic version, which is the exact map, but just better graphics, of course remade in Halo Reach. And then there's a different version which opens up some other parts that you can like open up in Forge and stuff, and that were not in the original maps. There's also different game modes. So there's just a normal Slayer on those maps, normal Spartan properties, loadouts, everything like that. But then there's actually a Halo Combat Evolved Classic mode where you're still using the Halo Reach engine, but the Spartans and the weapons change very much. So of course the Spartans don't have any drop damage. They can jump higher. They feel more like Spartans than the Spartans in Halo Reach. And then they tweaked the weapons, especially the pistol. So the pistol is overpowered, of course. And there's no expanding reticle. So in Halo Reach, the reticle grew larger when you fired, which of course would decrease accuracy. That was not present in any other game besides that one. So they took it out in that mode of multiplayer. I have to say that the multiplayer is really good. The maps that are there, it's a little interesting what they chose to include. Most of the maps are from Halo Combat Evolved, just on the Xbox, the original Xbox, when it was first released, those maps. A couple of the maps are from the PC version of Halo Combat Evolved, which was released a couple years later, and included like some new weapons, like the flamethrower, which are not in the Anniversary Edition. And they added a couple maps from that, which I've never seen before, and I really liked that. Then they added a couple from Halo 2. Now this is where it gets a little interesting, because I think that 343 Industries, my prediction is in 2004, which was when Halo 2 was released. In 2014, they're going to make an Anniversary Edition of that. Don't quote me on this. It's not like a rumor or anything. I haven't heard about it, but I think that's what they're going to do. And it's a little interesting that they decided to include some Halo 2 maps. There's not a ton, I think 70 to 75% of the maps are all from the original Halo Combat Evolved on the Xbox, but a couple are borrowed from the PC version and the Halo 2 version, which can be a good thing for some people and a bad thing for others. I liked it because I never got to play Halo 2 on Xbox Live, and I never got to play Halo Combat Evolved on the PC, so I definitely enjoyed that type of stuff. But some people might just want the base experience, which in that case, they're just going to have to play those maps, maybe like vote over them and stuff. And then there's the way it ties into Halo Reach. Now, of course, it's running the Halo Reach engine. So, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary comes on one disc, not on two, like Halo 4 does. So you go into that one disc, and on the menu there's campaign and multiplayer. So if you select campaign, you go to the campaign menu, you choose your difficulty, all that kind of stuff. If you click multiplayer, it takes like about 10 seconds to load. Then you go into a Halo Reach environment, Halo Reach style menu, minus of course campaign and firefight and stuff like that. Well, firefight, we'll get into that in a second. And you can choose options like just normal multiplayer. You can forge, theater mode, and firefight, which there's one map, Installation 04, which you can, fight off people. That was a little interesting because Halo, there are actually NPCs, ODSTs, which fought alongside you, which was pretty cool. And then you can go into the actual multiplayer, play the classic game modes, and play on those maps. The way it ties in with Halo Reach is that, first of all, if you have Halo Reach and don't want to buy this game, you can buy the multiplayer component of this game for, when it was released, 1,600 Microsoft points. I think they've dropped the price down to 1,200, or it might have been a sale the last time I checked. And you just download that, there's maps, you can get into the playlists. It's the entire experience from the multiplayer perspective, just minus the campaign. If you buy Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary and don't have Halo Reach, you can just play only the Combat Evolved Anniversary maps in those playlists and the one Firefight map. Then, if you have Halo Reach and Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, it actually comes with a download code in the box that you type in, and it's just the map pack, so you can then play the multiplayer maps not just on the Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary disc, but then play it in Halo Reach. So it gets a little confusing. I typed in the code, so the only time I actually play this game is when I want to go in and play campaign. If you have this game, and you also have Halo Reach and you've played it, it will not recognize it, so the only thing you can play from the actual Combat Evolved Anniversary disc is the Combat Evolved Anniversary maps, and if you want to play the Halo Reach other maps, you have to actually play in Halo Reach. So I think that's a little confusing, But I definitely like that you've got the whole active roster and everything you've come to expect from Halo Reach. So I think all in all, the multiplayer is good. You can get all your credits and armor, and I think that some people were a little skeptical when they decided to include the Halo Reach engine, but I like that. There was a community that grew around Halo Reach. I enjoyed it, and it was kind of I wasn't ready to give up Halo Reach. This game came out between Halo 4 and Halo Reach, and I think that it definitely gave Halo Reach a little bit more life. Nowadays, no one's really playing this playlist that much. But the game modes are still there. Some of them, anyway, they've taken out some of the playlists, but the normal Slayer and classic like Big Team Battle and stuff, they all return. They're all still there. Um, so that's the multiplayer component of Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. Now I'm just going to go into my thoughts about it and if you should get Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. I really enjoyed Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. It was a huge step back in time to see what this game was before Halo 2, before the Xbox 360, when you first saw Master Chief, and you get to play it in these new graphics and over Xbox Live, plus, of course, achievements. So, I think that for somebody who wants this game, I think if you just want to pick this game up as a normal Halo game, you might be a little disappointed because the graphics, while they're good, they're definitely not as good as some other Halo games out there or Xbox games out there. And the campaign is relatively short. And for the most people, there's not going to be a ton of replay value. You've got the skulls and stuff, but there aren't any like challenges or anything. But if you're a Halo fan, I definitely recommend picking this game up. It was $40 when it was released. It's probably about $20 now. So this makes a great gift as the holiday season is approaching. Of course, Halo 4 is out, so stuff like that. You can buy that if you want to, but I think definitely this is a game that I extremely recommend picking up, and it will make a fine addition to your Halo collection. So finally, I'd like to thank you for watching this series. I know it was a little delayed, and sometimes this is coming out like weeks and weeks after Halo 4. I had some schoolwork and stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you'll watch some of the other series. We'll return to normal Flashback Fridays next week. So if you liked this video, thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.